What's going on, boys? Thanks to our patrons and Fiverr customers, subscribe to our Patreon free for behind the scenes stuff. Arm yourselves, life stuff. I've been thinking about MMA dudes lately. One of my uncles is a lifelong MMA dude of some renown, but he's always been weird. And you spend time around him, you get introduced to other MMA dudes, and they're all weird. And I've never been an MMA guy. I've never paid much attention to the MMA sphere, but over the last few years, thanks to Beige Frequencies videos, learning MMA lore, and getting into the opera of it all, I've started paying closer attention to MMA dudes in general, especially the hobbyist type MMA dudes. And what I'm finding is they are all really weird in a distinctly MMA way. And that got me thinking about something. MMA strata, social strata. Because a lot of dudes practice MMA these days. But I don't think any large fraction of them are true MMA dudes the way I am coming to understand MMA dudes. And I say this with affection. True MMA dudes feel mildly autistic. They are discordant in their energy. There is something noticeably weird about them that you can feel in the air. A lot of dudes will get into MMA for fitness, or for self-defense reasons, or for philosophical discipline reasons. But the thing about these dudes is they can still fit in normal person society. And I think the ability to fit in with normal people, or even with certain cliques of people, and MMA magic, whatever this psionic shit is, I think they are mutually exclusive. Normal dudes, or dudes who can fit in, can get good at martial arts, they can practice, they can spend years, and they can become significantly more dangerous than the average Joe dipshit on the street. I'm not taking away from normal dudes who practice MMA. What I'm saying is these pureblood MMA dudes are like a caste of mildly autistic monks. And I'll give you an example, sparring example. You take two dudes. Both have been practicing martial arts for the same number of years. One is a normal dude who's practicing martial arts, and the other is an MMA dude who's practicing martial arts. Same number of years. It's like the MMA dude has precognition. It's like the MMA dude can manipulate physics a little bit. There is a sixth sense there that I don't believe can be taught. And for whatever reason, that natural instinct makes them odd. And again, you think big picture. I don't think this is something dudes who would be gifted at MMA develop once they get into it. I think they start this way, and then however it goes, they naturally gravitate into the MMA sphere where they're supposed to be. And despite memes, they're usually very intelligent, but it's savant shit. Discordant is the word. They'll have deep knowledge of things that don't line up with their personalities, with their lives, even with their other interests, at all. They won't be mean to people, usually, but there will be this disconnect between them and the normal people they're trying to interact with. Like high energy radio waves tuned poorly. And that different frequency makes normal people uncomfortable. Maybe not hostile or spiteful or exclusionary, but a little on edge. Even if the people have no idea that this MMA dude is an MMA dude, is physically dangerous. It's something in the psionosphere. And this whole phenomenon is interesting to me because It's one of the clearest examples of something is going on that we aren't seeing, I'm aware of. How distinct these dudes are in their energy. How they almost always end up in MMA. How they have these weird senses. As if they were spawned for it and then called to it for some purpose. There is a uniformity to these patterns that doesn't feel completely natural. Now, I don't know what's behind this pattern or for what purpose this pattern exists, but socially, if you're interested in people and supernatural or higher order shit, very interesting. I wasn't expecting this video to be this short, but I have nothing else to say. It's an interesting phenomenon that I wanted to point out. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't.